I want to take the time to break something down that I think is very fascinating. So, you know how people associate respect with fear? Like, a person is respected because they're feared? Yeah, I don't buy that. I think that it's bullshit. Fear is fear, and respect is respect. The only time that I actually respect somebody is not when I fear them, but it's because I feel safe with them. It's because I feel them. It's because I see them. It's because I understand them. It's because I hear them. It's because there is a mutual element of trust and understanding and seeing, right? There is a foundational level of intimacy at play, right? So let's look at this whole thing of respecting somebody based on fear and what I think is actually going on here. Because I think that it's actually easy to mistake this other element here that I think is the actual player rather than respect. I don't believe that a person is respected because they're feared. I think that the way that things really work is that if a person fears somebody else, what's taking place rather than respect is appeasing, right? Appeasing can look similar to respect because you're either doing something or you're not doing something to kind of like bypass potential things that this other person could do to you or say to you, right? From what I understand, from everything that I've learned, respect is a result of safety, a result of intimacy, a result of trust and love, right? Fear is it's one of the low energy dynamics in every single relationship, including the relationship with the self, right? Respect is very high energy, right? I don't know if you've ever seen, it's like the spectrum of low energy to high energy states of emotions and just energy in general, right? Fear is one of the lowest. Fear vibrates at a very low frequency, right? It's down there with things like shame and guilt and all that stuff. Fear is down there, right? Respect and fear do not vibrate at the same level. That's just the reality of things. Respect, from what I've learned and what I understand, is way up there with love. It's way up there with trust and safety and intimacy and vulnerability, right? Respect is what takes place when a person, metaphorically and physically, gets naked, takes off their clothes. And when I say take off their clothes, I don't just mean physically. I mean they present themselves mentally and emotionally and spiritually with a person, and respect takes place. That respect is not the same thing that occurs when a person fears somebody else. No. That is appeasing. That is codependency. That is walking on eggshells. That's an entirely different realm. Respect doesn't come with fear. Appeasing comes with fear. Appeasing, people-pleasing, codependency, what I would argue to be lowest qualities of a human in survival, right? Think about it when, a dog is terrified, right? And they're whimpering, right? They're walking on eggshells. They're not at their highest level of energy possible. They're scared. They're afraid. They're in fear. They are appeasing. Respect and fear do not go together, because I would argue that they can't, because they're not in the same energy dynamic. I don't respect somebody because I fear them. If I'm told to do something that I'm uncomfortable with, that's not from a place of respect. That's from a place of appeasing. Oh, am I about to... Is there some aspect of danger? With that, it's likely that the person would appease to get themselves out of the situation. It's not respect. It's not. This is not a dynamic of you respect me because you fear me. No. You appease to the fear that you feel in response to your dynamic or your experience with the dynamic of our relationship. If for whatever reason I fear somebody else, I don't respect them. Respect would have to entail liking somebody for some reason. I don't like somebody that I fear. And fear, let me be very clear here. Fear is not a healthy dynamic. Fear is not a healthy experience to cultivate with somebody, right? If you respect somebody, I'll say it again, if you respect somebody, it's because you feel safe with them. You trust them. You don't feel safe with somebody that you fear, so therefore you don't respect them. So therefore, whatever you're doing is not from a place of respect. It's from a place of appeasement. It's from a place of regressing back to a childlike state of when you were in survival and you learned that you had to do certain things, or you had to not do certain things. You had to become somebody else. You had to let go of parts of yourself to survive. Right? In fear, you're thinking in terms of survival. Right? That's how that works. You're not thinking in terms of respect. Respect doesn't come with fear. Appeasing comes with fear. When you fear something or somebody, right, you have to be very careful, or you're choosing to be very careful. Maybe it's like walking on eggshells. Oh, I'm choosing to be very careful with how I am around this person because I fear them, so I'm going to appease. I'm going to regress. I'm going to appear as a different person, right? It's not respect. Because if it was respect, it would be a mutual feeling of safety on both ends, for both parties. That's not respect. That's that again, respect is that mutual feeling of trust and safety with a person. You cannot find that in any dynamic with fear. There's no respect there. Let me make this very simple, actually, and I'll make this very clear as I close out this video. If you approach somebody, right, and they present themselves in a way that would be, something to fear, right? Maybe it was a parent that felt like an authoritarian or totalitarian. No, I'm trying to think of the way that it's like like a dictatorship, right? You don't feel safe around them, right? They're all the way up here, and you're down here. You're just this scared little child, right? That creates dynamics of fear, right? And then a child learns that they are in survival and they have to be a certain way other than how they are, or they have to let go of who they are, right? And then the fear leads to appeasing because, I have to appease. I have to do what is not authentic for me because I'm afraid, right? I have to do what is not authentic for me because I'm afraid. I have to be some way that is not authentic for me because I'm afraid. There's no respect there. That's not respect. Respect is mutual to both parties. That is appeasing, right? So when respect is present, it's because two or more people see themselves in each other, right? They feel safe. There's trust. There's love. There's understanding. there's literal intimacy, physically and mentally and emotionally, right? That does not exist in dynamics of fear. Fear does not equal respect. If you want people to respect you, it's not about getting them to fear you. It's about creating actual relationships, cultivating actual relationships of safety, love, kindness, understanding, seeing, vulnerability, intimacy. I think I already said safety, but I'll say it again. Safety. That's how that actually works, right? But when you think that getting a person to respect you means that you have to get them to fear you, they're not respecting you. They're appeasing to you. They're being inauthentic to who they really are because they don't feel safe, because they feel like they're in danger, because they're afraid. That's not respect. That's appeasing. And appeasing is a survival tactic, right? Appeasing is not being your authentic self. And that's just the way that it works.